Hello, friends. Welcome to this fourth segment of the series, So You Want to Have a Baby. My name is Meheytab'el. First of all, I must apologize for not releasing this video a week ago. This was because I was ill with the flu for about a week, but I am completely recovered now, praise God, and I am ready for the next step. I have recorded 3 prior episodes of this series, So You Want to Have a Baby. And without going into too much detail, I'm just going to reiterate again the reason why I made these videos. The reason is because I had, in the course of my life, I've come across a lot of women who have spoken to me in some way or the other about their desire to have children. And I realized through my interaction with them that I was going to be able to, I was able to help them achieve their dream of having a baby. Now, I learned certain principles along the way. And these are some of the principles I have been sharing with the prayer and the hope that someone will write me one day and say, I listened to these videos, I followed what you talked about, and here is my baby. Now, the first one was the fact that we established is that God desires that every woman and every man be fruitful, multiply, and reproduce. And he said it in his word that none shall be barren. That was our foundation. And we went on to say that if you are looking for to have a child, if you are a mother at heart, a father at heart, you need to start seeing yourself as you really are. That was what the first segment dealt with. And the second segment dealt with faith. What is your faith? And the third one dealt with the issue of time, the fact that time is no deterrent to you achieving the desires of your heart, and age is no deterrent either. So, this segment, we're going to be dealing with the issue of your body or our bodies. Now, we all know that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we need to take care of our bodies. In the course of my life, when I speak with women, this is what I tell the women who are hoping to have a child. I would ask them, is your room ready? Is the room that the baby is going to be living in, is it ready? Is it ready to receive visitors? We all know that if we're going to have guests in our home, we don't give our guests the worst bedroom in the house. We give our guests the guest bedroom, the best bedroom, a well-presented bedroom, if not the best one. And we clean it up, we tidy it, we make it welcoming for our guests. But a lot of us, women and men, we are looking for someone, the women actually, are looking for someone to come and dwell in that place for 9 months. And yet, some of us don't do anything to prepare adequately for this visitor who's going to be there for a while. I remember a time when somebody that I had talked to said, "Oh, I've been trying to get pregnant and I haven't been able to." And I just looked at her, and it may have seemed a little harsh. I said, "Lose a little weight, lose weight, lose like 10 pounds or 10% of your weight, and you'll see what happens." And a few months later, I saw this person and they were pregnant. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's overweight and is looking to have a baby should go on a fast or start dieting. No, I am saying that that woman probably put steps into place for maintaining a healthy diet and did lose weight. And there are some medical conditions that makes a woman more fertile with weight loss. And we'll talk about some medical conditions in some other segment later on in the series. Because as we will notice, we're moving more from the spiritual to the soul, and now we're in the body. And it takes a unity and a balance in the spirit, soul, and the body. For some people, not everyone, like we said, we all have our own children in our own time. But it takes a balance of the spirit, the soul, and the body to create an environment that things will work out. Moving on. Woo. So we talked about weight. We need to maintain a healthy weight. A woman, when she's pregnant, carries weight in her body. And if you already have a lot of weight, the pregnancy itself becomes even more difficult. And that's for those who have gotten pregnant. But for those who have not, it is more difficult to get pregnant with a lot of excess weight. Now, we talked about maintaining a balanced diet. What do you eat? Do you subsist on a diet of fast or fried foods or a lot of processed foods? These are things that women who are desiring to have children should think about. And as much as possible, keep your diet healthy. Keep it fresh. Keep it unprocessed. And I'm sure that not only will you feel the difference in your own body, you'll begin to see your body begin to work as it should, as God created it to. The next point. A very interesting study came out a few years ago, and it looked at the consumption of diet sodas by women. And the study revealed that with the advent of diet sodas, when they compared the number of when they compare the numbers with regards to the ingestion or the intake of diet sodas and the percentage rise in infertility in the United States of America, the results were startling. It actually did show that since the increase since the time of increased popularity of the ingestion of diet sodas, mainly for women to maintain their weight, the rate of infertility or the incidence of infertility and the prevalence of infertility has risen exponentially. And we are seeing now that a lot of women in 2014, as compared with, like, say, 1982 or 1980, there's a greater percentage of women who are infertile. And this has been borne out by some studies, like I've mentioned, to be related to the ingestion of diet sodas. Now, also, we, in the course of my work, as we all know, I am a physician. I have seen a lot of people who have come in and they look healthy, but they don't feel good. And I have said over and over again in my talks with my friends and my families that I believe that the United States of America is actually the most well-nourished, the most well-fed, malnourished nation in the world. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that we eat a lot of food in this country. We have an abundance of food, but we usually do not eat the right kinds of foods. And in my practice, I am seeing things come up that were thought to have been eradicated. Things like scurvy in the United States of America. Things like beriberi, which is a B1 deficiency. Things like pellagra, which have to do with a B6 deficiency. Vitamin D deficiency is endemic, and B12 deficiency is not too far behind. Now, I made a discovery quite serendipitously, like I said, through my practice, that a lot of women who came, who had, we had talked about the issue of having babies, and they came for other reasons, actually. When we did a whole wellness evaluation, and we found out that some of them majority of them, I'll name the most common, had vitamin D deficiency. The next common one was B12 deficiency. And also iron deficiency. We know that a lot of us women deal with women type issues, and we lose iron much more than the men do. And so that's a third one. But I also found, like I said, some other vitamin deficiencies, including the B vitamin deficiencies and vitamin C deficiency. And what I noted was that these women would just come in after a while and they'd be pregnant. And I'm like, what is going on? And I realized as I began to study these vitamins that some of these vitamins are actually directly related to infertility and or are related to infertility. Let's put it that way. And I realized that especially vitamin D and vitamin B12, if a woman has a low B12, it is associated with increased incidence of infertility, as also vitamin D. So what am I saying? Am I asking that women go out there and begin to buy a whole lot of vitamin supplements in the hope that they will get pregnant? No. What I am saying is that we need as women to first of all take care of our bodies, number one. Number two, we need to exercise. I am guilty of not being as faithful as I should be with my exercise, but I'm moving on. I'm turning over a new leaf in 2015. We need to exercise. We need to refrain from eating overly processed foods, especially fast foods and also diet products. Number three, we need to go see our physicians and talk to them and find out whether you're iron deficient or B12 deficient or vitamin D deficient. And I guarantee you that if you do have these deficiencies and they're corrected, there is a difference. There is a definite difference. There's more energy. The immune processes work well. The reproductive processes work well, better. And I have seen a great number of women come back pregnant. I don't have the studies to prove this conclusively, but I am just making observations, and it does make sense. You keep the room well and tidy, you repair what needs to be repaired, and it is a lovely room waiting for the occupant to come in and stay for a while, and then come into their own or go their own way. Now, like I said, I want to repeat it again. I am not advocating that we all go out there and get all sorts of vitamins, because we need to be guided, and we need to speak to professionals who understand how to replace these vitamin deficiencies if they exist. And we cannot make assumptions that they exist. But there is a special subset of women who have these deficiencies, and they benefit. And I have seen it over and over again that they benefit. So what is the take-home message today? You who want to have a baby, how well prepared is the room? Take care of the room. Clean it up. Keep pollutants away from it. Keep yourself healthy. Now, going back to the other principles, see yourself as a mother. See yourself as a father. Hold on to the faith that God has given you. Know that while you're waiting, God's timing is independent of time, and that with God, nothing is impossible. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for taking the time to listen to these videos, and I hope you will pass them on to the people who will benefit from it. And again, I keep saying it, I'm waiting for you to write me to tell me, hey, I'm pregnant, or hey, I had my baby. God bless you.